Welcome to the Schoke Jewish Family Service Volunteer Recognition and Appreciation Day. I'm Paul Gordon, the president of Schoke JFS. As I'm sure you can imagine, this has been one heck of a year, as we at Schoke JFS faced challenges we never imagined. And I'm incredibly proud about how well we've come through it to this point. You, our volunteers, are a major reason for that. You know, in operating an agency like ours, sometimes we forget how important our outside volunteers are. But I compare Schoke JFS to a chair. Now, bear with me on that. This chair has 4 legs, all of which have to be the same length and strength to support someone sitting on it. Our 4 legs consist of our staff, our board of directors, our donors, and our volunteers. Each one is just as important as the other. Without all 4 holding their weight, the whole organization will wobble and might not support the mission. This year, leg 1, our staff, has been incredible. While we've been able to continue to function throughout the year, making adjustments as necessary, but moving forward to support the ever-increasing demand for our services. Our board of directors has been terrific, supporting bold initiatives on the fly when necessary, and staying out of the way also when necessary. One of our great fears as we moved into the pandemic was whether we'd be able to afford some of the major initiatives we were being forced by demand to undertake. Despite the environment of economic uncertainty, our donors have come through for us as never before, excuse me, enabling us to help out many new clients who were in need for the very first time. Finally, you, our volunteers, are that equally strong 4th leg. Boy, have you done your part. Most of the rest of today's presentations will be showing you just how much you've accomplished. All I can say is thank you, and thank you. Before I introduce our CEO, Matt Greenberg, I wanted to remind you of some up-and-coming important Schoke JFS events. On April 27th, we will host the 3rd of our 3-part Saul Cohn lecture series. Our theme this year has been Recover, Recharge, and Rejoice, and on April 27th, you can hear Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar talk on the topic of Rejoice. Our big annual recognition and fundraising gala, An Evening with Schoke JFS, takes place remotely next Sunday, March 14th. We'll be honoring 3 outstanding members of our community, including Risa Goldblum as Volunteer of the Year. You'll be hearing from Risa in a little while. I hope you will all consider supporting us by joining us for this great event, and you can sign up for it on our website. There are a few people I'd like to single out who made today's event possible. First, I want to thank Carolyn Temluck-Teichman and the volunteer committee for their hard work this year and for coordinating this event. I want to thank Jill Knopf for our volunteer coordinator for all she's accomplished this entire year, and Erica Gadsden, who behind the scenes really runs Schoke JFS and coordinated the technical aspects of this event. Finally, one bit of housekeeping. Please leave your mute button on at all times. If you have a comment, please put it in the chat room and we will address it. Again, thank you for all you do, and it's now my pleasure to introduce our CEO, Matt Greenberg.
Thank you, Paul, and thank everybody else for being here. And I also want to thank particularly Carolyn and Jill for working so hard on making this event happen today. So I know a lot of the things Paul said are things that I would say as well, but I just want to reiterate how grateful we are to all of you for your help always, and especially this year. You know, since our inception as an agency with limited staff, we always relied on our volunteers, beginning with the resettlement many, many years ago of hundreds of Jews from the Soviet Union way back in the 70s and 80s, to delivering hundreds of packages of food to clients who couldn't get out of their homes this year. So before I talk a little bit more about this, I want to share a few facts about what happened here at Schoke Jewish Family Service this year. The families who had to deal with anxiety and figure out how to help their children deal with the pandemic turned to us. Holocaust survivors who had finally begun to emerge from isolation because of the Anachnu program retreated back to their homes and to their isolated lives. Seniors with memory impairment problems were no longer able to attend the programs that we created to help strengthen their memory. 25 to 30 children who ordinarily turned to us for camp scholarships stayed home this past summer. But the big story, of course, is food insecurity as people lost their jobs, had their hours reduced, or couldn't afford food, or just couldn't get out of their houses to shop and get the food that they needed. But here's what we did. Our staff came to the office every day from the very beginning of the pandemic. We pivoted immediately to virtual counseling sessions and virtual brain fitness sessions, helping to help clients allay their fears and anxieties. And we continued to provide the memory stimulation that we had helped clients work on when they could come in person. While the numbers were lower, 15 children still attended local outdoor or virtual camps. We began regular deliveries of groceries to those in our community who couldn't get out. We held weekly Zoom classes and programs for Holocaust survivors that are sometimes attended by more than 50 people, allowing them to maintain those contacts that they had built. And lastly, our food pantry has never been busier. Our Friedberg Kosher Food Pantry experienced an increase of over 500%. Okay? And here's where I want to turn to you. Never before have your efforts and dedication been more needed and appreciated than this year's. Here's what you did this year. You helped provide almost 70,000 meals through our Friedberg Kosher Food Pantry. Each and every week, you delivered close to 35 kosher meals from the Hirsch Kosher Home Delivered Meal Program. You packed literally thousands of bags of groceries each and every week for clients who lined up at our doors for food and to take to Upper Fairfield County. You helped provide for and deliver food to Holocaust survivors each and every week for Shabbat. And you drove dozens of miles to pick up food at your local synagogues and take it to families unable to get out of their homes to shop or obtain food. And you saved at least one life. Through your caring and concern, an elderly woman with life-threatening injuries was discovered through a routine home delivery of food by an astute volunteer, resulting in emergency intervention and the literal saving of her life. These are just a few of the things that you did, in addition to special efforts for Thanksgiving, Rosh Hashanah, Purim, and now as we approach Passover. None of this could have happened without you. I'm truly humbled and in awe of your dedication, your desire to help others in need, and your unselfish willingness to place yourself in harm's way this year. Thank you for your dedication to the hundreds of clients in need that you helped take care of this year, and to Schoke Jewish Family Service.
Good afternoon. I am Jill Knoploff. I'm the volunteer coordinator and also the coordinator of the Hirsch Kosher Meal Home Delivery Program. I know I'm not saying anything new when I say this past year has been challenging. Challenging for individuals of all ages and also for all organizations of all sizes. We've all had to rise up to the challenge and adapt and change and grow. And my, have we grown. 1 year ago, we had about 50 volunteers. 50 wonderful, amazing, dedicated volunteers. Over the course of the past year, we added over 150 new, amazing, wonderful, and dedicated volunteers. Our volunteers come from all over Fairfield County, representing every age group from the very young kids participating in the Mitzvah Monday to teens, adults, and families. In addition, volunteers are linked to us through congregations throughout all of Fairfield County. We truly would not be able to do all the way we do without all of our volunteers. You are the heart of Schoke JFS, and we thank you. You, our volunteers, contributed over 2,000 hours of your time collectively this past year, and I only see that number rising. While we hope that we are over the worst of the pandemic, the consequences will likely be felt for a long time. Our volunteers have been very busy helping out with a lot of programs. Matt has already highlighted many of them, but here are just a few to recap. In the pantry, we have volunteers that work during the open hours, receiving clients as well as working behind the scenes, pre-packing packages so that when pantry hours are open, we can meet the demands. We also have volunteers pre-packing for our large events, like holidays like Passover, which is coming up, Thanksgiving, Rosh Hashanah. We have volunteers making calls to clients for outreach, as well as confirmation prior to deliveries. We have volunteers making deliveries every week for the Hirsch Kosher Home Delivered Meal Program, as well as our Shabbat program. And these are concurrent in Upper Fairfield County and Lower Fairfield County. We have volunteers who are performing singing telegrams, and others are making cards. We have generous board members who work very hard for Schoke JFS. We have activities large and small, but the efforts of all volunteers combined creates impact in our community to those who need it most. What you do when you volunteer matters a lot. Now for 2021 coming down the pike, we've had such a change in the volume of programming and the numbers of volunteers that we are in the process of rolling out a volunteer software program. Stay tuned as we reach out to each and every one of you to help us fill out your profiles. This will be Volunteer Central for Schoke JFS. You will be able to see all the volunteer opportunities and sign up right on the website. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You may or may not know this about me, but I like to research all things health. In July of 2020, a new research study was published in the Journal of Happiness Studies. I don't actually know that journal. However, the study showed that volunteers not only help the communities they serve, but they actually experience a boost in their mental health. I won't get into the details of the study as this isn't the place for it, but simply put, the study showed that those who volunteered at least once per month reported better mental health than those who volunteered infrequently or not at all. According to the lead researcher, when we help others, we tend to experience what researchers call a warm glow. In addition, volunteering is likely to help boost our sense of social connection. This seems most important these days. So give yourselves a pat on the back for not only volunteering for Schoke JFS, but also doing something positive for your own health. And now I would like to introduce Risa Goldblum. Risa has been a volunteer at Schoke JFS since 2013. She has chaired many of our larger events like Passover, which is coming up, Thanksgiving, and Rosh Hashanah. We are grateful for her continued support of our programs. Risa is going to talk a little bit about her experiences volunteering with Schoke JFS.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you, Carolyn, for both organizing this special event. I really appreciate you asking me to participate. I hope you don't mind if I read my notes. I have always gotten so much out of volunteering with Schoke Jewish Family Service because the work to me is truly tangible. It can't be merely measured on spreadsheets and lists, and we have a lot of those. There's nothing like the personal connection we make and knowing we're making a difference to so many people. It gives me purpose and it truly fills my life with so much meaning. For all of the programs I work on for the Friedberg Family Kosher Food Pantry, I get to see the food donations coming in, get sorted and bagged, and then delivered and put directly into clients' hands. I know that their Shabbat or holiday tables will be filled with the food that they need. When I make home deliveries, I can see how truly grateful each person is to be receiving meals and groceries. And when I can spend a little time talking to them, I hope I've helped them brighten their day a little bit. One of the most fulfilling things about volunteering at Schoke Jewish Family Service is being able to engage with clients in a special way. It's been a little bit harder this year, obviously, but I hope to do more of it in the future now that things will be looking up. I know that their Shabbat or holiday tables, one of the most fulfilling things about volunteering at Schoke is being able to engage with clients. As at one of Marina's fabulous Anafnu programs, it was thrilling to watch the participants singing and dancing to the Russian songs, hearing their native language, and enjoying the company of their friends. During the coat drives that I worked on with Merrill, I got to spend one-on-one time shopping for coats and winter gear with each client, and all of whom were able to select from the vast selection of coats that were all donated by our community. Seeing them leave with a bag of coats for their entire family was truly a blessing. When I made a home visit and brought food to one Russian gentleman who's homebound, he spent an hour telling me stories about his life, which it turns out was very exciting. He even sent me home with a beautiful Russian nesting doll, which I proudly display in my kitchen. Since then, Rebecca has put him on my delivery route several times, and it's always a treat to say hello. Schoke Jewish Family Service does so much for so many people. I am fortunate to have been able to get to know some of them, even briefly over the years, and take pride in knowing that they've been taken care of with dignity and grace by Rebecca, Marina, and their wonderful team. For me, Schoke Jewish Family Service is a Shabbat meal, a fresh turkey, a Rosh Hashanah dinner, all the fixings for Passover, this and so much more. And I hope I can help serve our clients even more in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Risa. And now we would like to show some photos which depict volunteers in action. Due to the pandemic and social distancing, we don't have as many photos as we would have had in previous years, as many of our volunteers were in action rather than posing for photos. So if you don't see your face this year, you will definitely next year.
Wow, that was moving. Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Temlock-Teichman, and I am a JFS board member for over 10 years and currently serve as chair of the volunteer committee. This volunteer committee is made up of board members, staff, and community members, and is charged with formulating, and supporting strategic goals related to JFS volunteer culture, processes, and activities, including today's volunteer recognition. That is why I am particularly honored to introduce our next three speakers. Like you, these three dedicated volunteers generously donate their time and energy to support the lives of our clients. I will tell you about each of the three volunteers, who will then read three moving letters written by the clients you work with. Each letter strongly validates the impact of your good work. The first is Melanie Maisel. My friend Melanie has been volunteering for Schoke JFS for a few years out of the Stamford office. Back when the office was open and temples were having events, Melanie often took our mitzvah baskets to temples to use as decorations, often in place of flowers. Melanie currently is one of the regular delivery volunteers for the Hirsch Kosher Meal Delivery Program. She is happy to deliver with a smile, of course, under her mask, week after week, and has formed a great friendship with many of her clients. Our second volunteer speaking is Erin Lane. Erin is a graduating senior at Fairfield College Preparatory School, that is Fairfield Prep. Erin has been volunteering at Schoke JFS for a couple of years. For the last year and until recently, he was the sole delivery person for our Shabbat meal program. He made it happen. He also volunteered at our Thanksgiving event. We hope Erin stays in touch with us when he moves on to his next chapter in life. We'll miss him. The third speaker will be Sherry Warshaw. Sherry was introduced to us through her affiliation with Federation for Jewish Philanthropy. Sherry launched our Upper Fairfield County produce events when our agency was still housed at Westport. She has been the chair of every single Jewish holiday food distribution, bringing in her shul, the conservative synagogue, and a group of so many mitzvah-minded volunteers to support her efforts. She and her wonderful group of volunteers in Upper Fairfield County jumped in to help to organize monthly pantry deliveries. Since COVID-19 hit in full force last March, Sherry has treated our client families as her own, ensuring no one was forgotten during the pandemic and no person went hungry. And here's Melanie.
Thank you. Am I unmuted? Okay. Thank you, Carolyn, and God bless you. You are a true friend. This letter was written by one of the Thanksgiving package recipients, excuse me. We have just received our Thanksgiving goodies. There is so much here. So many wonderful treats we would not have been able to have this year in addition to our turkey. The cookie recipe and ingredients look like the perfect family activity I can do with my kids on Thanksgiving Day or any of these crazy days we are home. And the extra toiletries are also a huge help. How did you know we needed conditioner? Haha. But truly, this is such a gift and a blessing, and we are so fortunate to be cared for and thought of during these difficult times. Things really are going to look up soon. I can feel it. Hoping although I am working remotely and part-time still, I have a new job and maybe things financially will be in a better place for us soon. Until then, this support is beyond words, amazing, and so appreciated. We are thankful for all of you. Sending you the warmest, healthy Thanksgiving wishes with love and appreciation.
Hello, this is a letter from someone who's just giving a thank you. Her mother is one of the clients. And the letter reads, "Thank you so much for your life-saving kindness and generosity in delivering meals for my mom. She's an 89-year-old who lives alone. I'm her only child and family here in the United States. I have been advised to care for her from afar, to protect her as she is so high risk for COVID-19. I cannot tell you how many nights I've been up trying to figure out backup plans for food delivery, medication, necessities, and how to make sure she has meals on a regular basis. To know she is so generously cared for by your organization with delicious meals. She's talked about the soup, chicken, apple pie, and more. Literally makes me tear up as I write. A home-cooked meal is not only nourishment, but comfort in a terrifying time. Thank you for all that you do. We are so grateful for your help."
Hello, everybody. I'm Sherry Warshaw and very privileged to read this thank you letter to you today. Dear Schoke JFS, words cannot express my gratitude for what you have done for us, not just today, but since we've met. I am reduced to 1/3 of my salary from a year ago, and I was struggling back then, doing over 20 hours of overtime per week. Our schedules have been drastically slashed. We are living on the bare minimum, and I frequently have to dip into my retirement to pay the rent at this time. I know it's temporary, and I pray for healing everywhere for everyone. I am thankful I am still gainfully employed and considered an essential employee. With lots of prayers and positivity, we have made it this far. I was resigned to the fact that it would not be a traditional Thanksgiving this year, and it made me so sad that my son would read all of his stories from school about turkey and stuffing and potatoes, peas and carrots and corn, and he wouldn't get to have that. We were thinking about dressing up the frozen chicken that's left. Well, an angel brought Thanksgiving to our door. Thank you. I'm welling up now just thinking about how you, all of you, have made that happen for us. I can't wait to attempt my first pecan pie. I am over the moon and so thankful and grateful for your generosity and your love and kindness. Thank you for filling my heart with joy and love and hope. I have a smile on my heart just thinking about all of you. And when we can hug again, I want to hug all of you. And I want to help and volunteer and do my part. With all our love, gratitude, and prayers.
Hello, everybody, and I'm Rebecca Konevsky, Director of Case Management. And I feel very fortunate to say I know everyone who's on here today in one capacity or another. Because why? Because everybody who's on here today is one of, for us, the most important people. You are the most important people at Schoke Jewish Family Service. You are our lifeline. You are the people who help us ensure that we can do what we need to do in the community. We couldn't do what we do unless you were doing what you do every day. I am here today and thankful for being given the privilege and honor to give you the virtual award and a special pin that we hope you will wear as a badge of honor. Today, we are recognizing you for everything that you do in our community. You are a hero. Let me share one important story with you about what we see on a daily basis from our special volunteers. We give you a job to do. We say, hey, can you take this from us and deliver it to there? Sometimes we get calls. We get a phone call or an email saying, hey, while I was with the client, they expressed to us that they needed this extra helping of something. What I have seen time and time again, particularly throughout the pandemic, but even before, is a volunteer getting that information from a client, coming to the pantry and getting for the client what they need. Just the other day, I got a call from a volunteer saying that this client who she was delivering to needed the delivery on a different day. And that volunteer coming on a different day on her own time to pick up the additional delivery and make it. Again, we could not do for our clients what we do without you doing what you do. You have earned our deepest appreciation. And I want to thank you so much for everything you do, from large to small efforts. Every act, every phone call, every musical greeting, every email makes a difference in someone's life. I want to share with you what you will receive. This is a certificate of appreciation for the Mitzvah of volunteering that is signed by our CEO and our president. And we will be sending this to you so that we can really celebrate each and every one of you. You will also be wearing what we are calling our badge of honor. This is a pin. We hope that you will wear this pin proudly when you're volunteering. We hope that you will understand that everything you do, we are so proud of. And this is our way today of celebrating you, all you do. We hope that you wear this as proudly as possible and know that this is our way of saying thank you. You will receive this certificate and your badge of honor pin in the coming weeks. Thank you, everybody. And I look forward to seeing some of you later today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Meryl Jaffa, and I am one of the co-chairs for the virtual evening with Schoke JFS this year. And as such, I just hope does everybody have a mask with them? I hope everybody, okay. So our theme for this year's event is unmasking our heroes. You are all of our heroes. And as such, we just want to take this opportunity to take a video of all of you unmasking. This will be part of our event on March 14th. So I hope you will all join us then to see this clip and a whole lot of other wonderful things that are going to be happening. And you'll be able to hear more of Risa's volunteer story there as well. So without further ado, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, unmask. Erica, we good to go?
We are good. Let's do it one more time if you guys don't mind, since there is a limit to how many people can be on screen. So I'm going to flip over to page 2. Don't worry, I don't know who's on page 1 or 2, so that's okay. So Meryl, if you don't mind counting down one more time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for attending this volunteer recognition event. We are so grateful to you every single day. Before we close out the event, I would like to thank a few people. Thank you to Erica Gadsden, the behind scenes person. We could not have done this without you. Thank you to Rebecca, the volunteer committee, and to you, our volunteers. We have big plans for the rest of 2021 and are looking forward to offering more volunteer opportunities. Someday, we will even be able to see your beautiful smiling faces without a mask. We hope to see you proudly wearing your pin when you volunteer. Thanks, everybody.